Do you ever watch something and just wish you didn't? Yeah. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing Tom and Jerry. It's available on HBO Max. For UK viewers, I recommend getting your hands on a VPN. I'm not sponsored by one, it's just genuinely good advice. If you're a movie lover like I am, and you're currently missing out on these properties, there's a way around it. I currently use ExpressVPN, and that's how I'm able to access these films that are not currently available in the UK. It's totally legal. Look into it if it interests you. I think it's worth the investment. So, where do we begin with Tom and Jerry? Within minutes, I was already hating it quite a lot. We had old music, old hip-hop music that hasn't been relevant for years. We had singing pigeons. The animation just looked off and not right. We hadn't even made it to the 5-minute mark and I was already losing faith very quickly. I like Tom and Jerry. I'm not like a mega fan or anything of Hanna-Barbera programming. I watched it. I was prime audience for things like Hong Kong Phooey. He was a personal favourite of mine. Scooby-Doo. I mean, you know, I grew up with them like other people. But, you know, Tom and Jerry is pretty universal. Pretty much everyone on the planet has seen at least one episode of Tom and Jerry and knows what it's about. Apparently not the director or writer though, because Tom and Jerry are absolutely the afterthought here. Logic goes out the window within 10 minutes because animals are animated. Some can talk, some can't, some seem to not be able to talk, but then do talk just very rarely when they feel like it. People don't ask questions or think anything of this or, you know, question it. These people serve food, but the food isn't animated, although it would have come from an animated animal. Maybe I'm already thinking far too deeply into this, but that's where my mind went immediately. When I saw that, I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Another contrivance is the people in the Tom and Jerry cartoon are animated. It's a cartoon. So the blending was just sort of done and given no thought behind it or explanation or way around it. This film follows a trend that Hollywood have been doing for a very long time now, and this trend drives me insane. You make a movie about a titular character who is not human, he's an alien or an animal or a monster of some sort, and out of fear that human beings cannot connect with this animal slash monster type of creature, you make the film about human beings instead. Imagine paying money to see Tom and Jerry and instead you get some Faulty Towers bullshit, which is what this is. It's not a Tom and Jerry movie. Plain and simple. I feel like this script was never written as a Tom and Jerry script. It was written as a Faulty Towers type of movie. There's this whole story about a wedding going on in a hotel and Chloe Grace Moretz steals a job and she's the good guy and you don't like her because she has serious character flaws. She doesn't mind damaging things and just slamming a hammer through a wall. Like, she's cool with that. She doesn't mind. It's only a very expensive restaurant and hotel that you work at. That's not going to come out your weekly wage, but hey ho. And clearly when they'd finished this, they thought, look, we don't have a target audience here. Who's going to come and see a film about blundering hotel? It's not really something that sells. So we'll stick Tom and Jerry in, we'll put them all over the posters, we'll call the film Tom and Jerry. Children everywhere will watch it. That's how I can only understand this film's existence, because other than that, it just doesn't make sense. Beyond whoever, the whole team working on this clearly has never ever seen Tom and Jerry. That's the only other plausible explanation for this film to have come out the way it has. It's a kid's movie outright, so you do have to sort of take it into that account that the film isn't made for me. However, I am quite childish with my sense of humour. Silly things do make me laugh. I'm not a complete, you know, bore or anything like that. I can laugh at a fart joke here and there if it's clever or decent or not completely tired. However, every joke here was completely tired and useless, and actually, I found sometimes they did make good jokes and then they would continue to undercut that joke with the stupid stuff. For example, Michael Pena early on, it's not like the best joke ever, but I thought it was quite funny. Chloe Grace Moretz's character says, "Is the fish the manager of aquatics?" Okay, fine. Yeah, haha. To which Michael Pena very sternly replies, no, she's a fish. I thought that was subtle and funny, and then suddenly the fish pops up with a little poop emoji in its thought bubble, and the joke was just killed off straight there. There is a moment where the talking dog, who's, do you know, I always forget his name, so I'll put his picture here so you know who I'm talking about, because you would have seen him. I always forget his name. Well, this character gets a bit restless and barking and pulling his owner all over the place, to which his owner says, I'm sorry, he's a little bit animated. References in this film. Some of them I enjoyed, but I have to admit, where did they come from? Where was the relevance? Tom suddenly pulls a Batman reference out of absolutely nowhere. There's a Mission Impossible reference. There's a Hannibal Lecter reference. There's no rhyme or reason to any of these references. And being a kids' film, chances are the kids aren't even going to get the references. I don't know many children that have seen Silence of the Lambs. It seems like a very strange joke to chuck in here. And then just to throw it even more into the trash compactor of crap kids movie, we get a moment of Tom singing moody blues with auto-tune. Do we have to do this? Do you hate me? Why are you punishing us? What's really annoying about this movie is that on some level I think it could have worked. When you do get those brief moments of Tom and Jerry having Tom and Jerry moments, they're chasing each other around hotel rooms and pulling curtains off the walls, and the curtains are real and these animated creatures are doing it. It actually works. It's enjoyable. I understand you probably couldn't do that for an entire hour and a half of a movie. It would get very tiresome very quick. But ultimately, that concept works, and it needs to be in the film much more than this nonsense with a wedding, the hotel that you just don't care about at all. It could have been The Poor Man's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It really could have been, if they had been more focused on Tom and Jerry, more focused on the stunts and the crazy nature of their activities. You know, I just don't think they were imaginative enough with it at times. They destroy a wedding cake. Can we amp it up a bit? I feel sorry for the actors as well. It's a good cast. Like, Michael Pena is a good actor. Chloe Grace Moretz, I really like her. I think she's also a good actor. But they're just reduced to reactionary shots to things that aren't even in the room with them. It's all, and it's just, it doesn't do them any favours whatsoever. This film just failed on every aspect for me. It didn't even succeed at being a good children's movie. If I wanted to introduce a child to Tom and Jerry and, you know, be somewhat sure that they would enjoy it, I would just put on a Tom and Jerry episode. Put on the TV show, 10 minutes worth of attention span, actual creativity, genuinely funny jokes, no nonsense, no filler, no bullshit. Just Tom and Jerry doing what Tom and Jerry will do until the end of time. Chase each other and have mental animated capers where realistically both of them should be definitely dead. You can't chase a cat with a chainsaw and end up with a good scenario there. That only ends badly. It's just what they do though, and we love them for it. There's a reason why the longevity of the franchise has gone on for as long as it has. It's a winning formula. So for the movie to just say, fuck a winning formula, let's just do whatever, yeah, you kind of asked for it, really. You really did. I'm going to give Tom and Jerry a 1 out of 10. Not funny, not memorable, poorly animated. Tom and Jerry need to be on the screen much more often than they actually are. They probably actually only take up about 40 minutes of the whole film, and the film's like an hour and 40 minutes. And of course, the typical Hollywood trend of calling a film after somebody and then not putting that character in the spotlight. I mean, it's not the only franchise that's guilty of it. I'm a big fan of Godzilla, King Kong, the universe. I was unbelievably excited to go and see Godzilla King of the Monsters when that was out in cinema. And yeah, okay, it was fine. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it absolutely infuriated me that a film called Godzilla King of the Monsters, well over 60% of the story is about some fucking dysfunctional family that are eco-terrorists that nobody cares about, nobody came here for. It's such a dumb trend. Trust your audience to know what they want. If you're paying to go and see a film called Tom and Jerry, chances are they're coming to see Tom and Jerry. Why do Hollywood not connect those dots? It's just the dumbest thing. And sadly, this film straight down the same barrel. No lessons learned. Thanks for watching this review. If you could leave a like, comment, and subscribe, I look forward to seeing you on the